It's good to see all of you this afternoon. I do want to go ahead and get our meeting called to order. We have a full agenda. I do want to remind you that the agendas are on the podium, so if you'd like to grab one so you can kind of follow along with what's going on with the council, what we'll be voting on this evening and that type of thing. And then we also have a sign-in sheet. If anyone would like to address the council or make any public comments, we do ask that you sign in and you can speak during that time. So the meeting is called to order. Our first order of business is our prayer and our pledge, and I'm very proud to introduce a friend of mine, Mr. Ethan Van Orman. Ethan is a part of our youth council, and he's very interested in local government and has held office within his school. As a matter of fact, when he was elected president of his student council, we had the opportunity to talk about what it's like to run for public office and had a great conversation. So Ethan, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Please bow your heads. Lord, I pray that you'll give everyone in this room wisdom, Lord, and I pray that they'll make the right decisions for our community, Lord, and I pray that the decisions will honor you. Lord, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ethan, and thank you for being part of the Youth Council. All right, gentlemen, you have the agenda before you. I do have one change I'm going to ask for you to consider approving. If you look on the back of your agenda, it was item number 13 concerning the LMIG safety improvement with peak paving marking and that kind of thing. We need to postpone that until our January meeting. So Emily's going to present us with some new figures, I believe. So we're not quite ready to vote on that like we thought that we were. So I'll take a motion concerning the approval of the agenda with that item postponed until January.
Move to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that does carry. All right, gentlemen, the next item is the approval of our minutes, and those are in our packet that Jessica sends out to us, and she does a good job of making sure we have everything. That's from our November 20th meeting, and you've had a chance to review those, so I'll take a motion concerning those minutes.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that carries as well. On public comments, I think we have just one person signed up. Jessica, is that correct? Okay, so I'll call on Ms. Julie Lester. She has signed up to speak this evening.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I apologize in advance if I get a little emotional here. Dr. Julie Lester, 139 Mill Ridge Circle. So people engage in the community for a variety of reasons. We all know that, whether it's for personal, professional, or business advancement, the pursuit of a sense of clout in the real or virtual community, or because they see a need and believe that their experience and skills may be used to advance the community. Tonight, I want to take the opportunity to thank someone that saw a need for leadership to advance the community, and for the last 8 years has been more than generous with his time, experience, and skills to serve Tifton, Councilman Jack Folk. You've always been quick to answer a phone call or email when I've reached out. We've had numerous conversations about policy, finances, management, leadership, and some other things I can't talk about publicly. But while there were plenty of times that we may not have agreed, we could still engage in a respectful conversation despite our differences, something that is very, very rare, especially in the current political environment. While you may not hear it enough, please know that I have appreciated all that you have done over the last 2 terms. You've been an example of a leader that we need more of, especially in local government. Through your detailed analysis of issues presented before council and the questions you ask that press people to consider important aspects of those issues, you have demonstrated that it is important to understand the potential impact of a policy decision before casting your vote. Additionally, you have demonstrated the courage to stand behind your convictions and decisions, and you've been, to quote you, very consistent. I've sat in this room many times and watched you be the only person advocating for one side of an issue and not folding because you are consistent and stand behind your beliefs based on research and experience, not bowing down to pressure to just go along. Leadership isn't found in titles or words. It is found in service and action. Jack, I know that the title wasn't what was important to you, and it wasn't the reason why you chose to serve the city of Tifton. I also know that you aren't one to speak without putting action behind your words. You are a true leader, and your service has made a positive difference in the city of Tifton. I'm proud to have been able to call you my councilman, but lucky to have been able to call you my friend. Thank you, and finally, enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to call on Chief Bobby Bennett for some presentation that's very important. Chief Bennett, you have the fire department pinning ceremony, so I'll turn the floor over to you.
Mayor and council, city manager, I must say it's an honor to be here tonight. We're going to be pinning someone for promotions, and the good thing about this is it has to do with growth. And we wouldn't be growing if it wasn't for the council and the city manager. And we really do support everything that y'all ever did for us. And it's always an honor to come before y'all. And I got some things I'll say about Jack before I'm done. But if I will, Tommy Guerin, 23 years, Tifton Fire Department, promoting to operations chief. He's a hard worker and does whatever he needs to do. He's an arson investigator, fire inspector, quality control on our reports, and whatever else that we need him to do, he's there to do it. Joe Perry, 22 years, being promoted to battalion chief. Joe's a expert in what he does. He's a great leader for his men, and I know the guys are going to really love following up under his leadership, and he's got my old shift, so I know he's going to do it right. Addison Walls, 12 years of service, being promoted to lieutenant. Addison is young, up and coming, but has definitely showed a desire and a need of what we need at the Tifton Fire Department and what the citizens need, and I know he's going to do a great job. James Jackson, 5 years, promoted to engineer. James, he's a unique individual. To tell you how much he loves the Tifton Fire Department, for a little while he had to move to Florida, and he drove how many hours one way? 4.5 hours one way back and forth between shifts. And I said, son, if you need to leave, I understand. He said, Chief, I'm not leaving. This is my home. This is where I'm going to be. I love the Tifton Fire Department, and as long as you're good with me driving back and forth, we'll be okay. And now he's here, and he has really accelerated in what he's doing, and he's definitely a team player. So, but if I would like to ask the wives to come do the honor. Y'all can go ahead. You stand beside him. Yeah. Don't be ashamed. All right, let's give them a big hand. Thank you. Kiefer Daughtry is going to handle the new hires, but while he's coming, I just want to say, Mr. Jack, thank you for always supporting us and being there for us. You're one of the reasons why we have grown so much, because you're so big about safety, which is great. And I'm going to say something that I've never said before and probably won't say again. Go Tigers!
between the pillars, up front. Right, face this way. Take a step back. There you go. We're coming. We got a few more straggling in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I've got 9. Good evening, council and mayor. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the newest members of the Tifton Fire Department. And we have 9 that we want to pin tonight. And most of these guys are brand new to the fire service, and this is their first fire department job. We do have 2, Mr. Blaine Gray and Mr. Jalen, that are from other departments, but the other 7 are brand new to Tifton and to the fire service. We get the opportunity to take these guys and actually train them mostly in-house, and hopefully these are faces you're going to see from now on, hopefully for the next 20, 30 years. So I'm not going to ramble on too much, but let me get the people pinning to come find your firemen. And while they're getting lined up, I'll read off some names to you. All right, y'all can go ahead and pin, and I'll do talking while you're pinning. All the way over here on my right side, council's left side, Mr. Ryan Hicks is getting pinned by Fire Chief Bobby Bennett. Mr. Ryan Hicks is what we call a legacy fireman. His dad is actually Lieutenant Adrian Hicks, currently with the Tifton Fire Department. And hopefully in a month or 2, we'll be doing this again with little brother going through recruit school. Next to Ryan, we have Jalen Williams. Jalen's also being pinned tonight by Fire Chief Bobby Bennett. Next to him, third to the right, we've got Anthony Golden being pinned tonight by his girlfriend, Chastity Griffin. Next to Anthony is Carly Vanderford, being pinned tonight by Jordan Gant. Next to her, we've got Kendall Gordon being pinned by her father, Mr. Chuck Gordon. Then we have Mr. Blaine Gray being pinned by his wife and his daughter, Shelby Gray. Next to him, we have Corey Moore being pinned by his sister, Janiza Moore. I was trying really hard not to mess that one up. I'm sorry. And then right next to him, we have Victor being pinned by his mom, Daisy Madrano. And then on the end, we have Mr. Gabriel being pinned by his mom, Abigail Ortiz. If y'all don't mind, please give these fellas a good warm welcome to the city of Tiffany. Well, you want to do a picture here or out there? All right, outside.
As y'all are leaving, we just want to say thank you so very much for being a part of the City of Tifton family. The work that you do is so very much appreciated, and we're just welcome to the family. And congratulations to these recent promotions as well. Jessica, have you got the form for me to sign for Jill? Okay. All right, I'm going to come down front. We have a new board member to swear in, so I'm going to ask Jill Dowers McIntyre if you'll meet me at the front, and then we'll do the swearing in ceremony. How are you tonight?
Yeah, that's good though. They on. I hope they stick with it.
So that, not so that my voice is projected in the room, but so that the camera can pick up. So when I'm going to hear your swearing in, your oath of office. So, I'm sorry, what? We good? Okay. Sorry about that. So I will administer the oath of office, at the end of which you will say either I swear or I affirm, whatever you're comfortable saying. So the oath of office says that you, Jill Dowers McIntyre, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties as a member of the Tifton Urban Redevelopment Authority of this city, and that you will support and defend the Charter of the City of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and the laws of the state of Georgia and of the United States of America, that you shall attend all meetings of the body to which you have been appointed unless providentially hindered, that you shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable thereto, that unless disqualified by the standards for conflicts of interest, you shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which you have been appointed, and that you shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia, that you shall also attend as scheduled any special training arranged by the City of Tifton. Do you affirm? Thank you so much. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. I always like to remind people, we do very much appreciate those who serve on our various boards and commissions. It's the work of our citizens and our residents that help us to be such a strong community. And so, Jill, we thank you very much for your willingness to serve on this important board, and I think you'll have a great time. It's a wonderful board and great people, so thank you again. All right, now we have a special guest with us who's always got something going on, so I'm going to turn the floor over to Karen Thompson. She is our librarian for the Tifton-Tift County Public Library and does a phenomenal job. If you've not met her, I don't know what rock you've been hiding under, because she is involved in everything Tifton. So, Karen, share.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Before I get into this, I just want to share today was our final board meeting of the year and our last board meeting with Mr. Folk on our board, and it has been a pleasure having somebody serve on our board who truly believes in the transformative power of libraries in the community. So Jack, thank you so much for serving on our board, and know we will miss you. If it's the council's pleasure, should another position for the city as a resident open up, please, if you would consider Jack being appointed back to our board, that would be wonderful. But that does leave you with an elected official position open to be appointed when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay. So this evening I'd like to share with you the tremendous growth that the library has undergone since my arrival. We are experiencing growing pains in the best way in our building. So in April of 2022, when I first arrived, our library patronage averaged 3,099 people a month. A year later, in April of 23, our library patronage was averaging 5,808 people a month. For the last 3 months, we have exceeded our summer reading level and are still growing. So we have accomplished welcoming our community back into our building. In the month of September, we served 8,321 people. In the month of October, we have served 8,520 people. And in the month of November, 9,124 people in our building for 1 month. So we're tired, but we're very excited. We're very excited to have our community in our building. Coming up for us, we have won another grant. We won a Pilcrow Foundation grant for children's literature. It's a 2-to-1 matching grant, so our foundation was able to make the match for us. And that is for literature specifically designed for our children's collection, so we're looking forward to receiving those. We also recently hosted a paranormal experience event over 2 weekends where we raised over $1,000 touring people through the building to see our spooks and specters. It was a lot of fun. NEA Big Reads is on schedule to kick off at Rhythm and Ribs, and we had the honor of having our grant application used as an example for the next round of national grant applicants. So that is a joint accomplishment with ourselves, the Tifton Council for the Arts and the Tifton Literacy Volunteers. So we're very excited about that. Coming up for us, we have decided in partnership with other organizations in the community that we are going to roll our summer reading kickoff party, which has become now known as the Glow Party, into a literacy festival. We'll be working with Tifton Tourism and the city and a few other organizations to grow it, because Tifton is the reading capital of the world, and we're getting there again. So I'm very excited about that. So those are some exciting things happening over at the library. As always, we thank you so much for your support of the library and everything that we do. And we look forward to seeing who joins our council next.
Excellent.
Thank
And
you.
listen, it's quite impressive with the numbers, and I know these gentlemen will agree. That library is such an important part of our community. And I'm going to challenge my friends here on the council. I have the opportunity to come and read to the Littles group from time to time, and they are so much fun. We have the best time. And so if you have some time, get with Karen and she can schedule. They have all kinds of groups that come into the library. These kids need to see us as community leaders sharing the gift of reading and the love of reading and the joy of reading. So, so if you have the opportunity, I do encourage you to, it's very rewarding, and these kids just are so sweet. And one of the little boys that's in that Littles group was trick-or-treating downtown. I was like, I know you, and he's like, I know you. They were so cute and so sweet. But the work that you're doing, Karen, is amazing, and we just really thank you for that and really appreciate the efforts that you're putting in. And you help us with our financial literacy class so that parents can go and learn about that, and then y'all provide these great opportunities for the children so they can enjoy that time too. And there's just so much that you do outside of the building, and we're thankful for that. So any comments, gentlemen?
Yeah, I've served on that board probably the last 6, 7 years, and I can tell you, this growth in that library can be attributed to one person.
Yep,
And she's standing right there.
I would agree.
I was been there before Karen. I've been there since she's been there when we hired her, and just the enthusiasm is just infectious. And you can look at the numbers, and it's all because of Karen, and we appreciate it.
Yes, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Karen. And we'll look forward to working with you on that event, special event for literacy. That's great. All right, just to remind everybody, the items that are on our agenda that we'll be voting on have been discussed at our workshop, so I don't want anyone to feel we haven't had the opportunity to discuss and get the information that was actually done at our workshop last week. So we'll go through these items rather quickly, I believe. The first thing that we'll be voting on is our consent agenda, and I do like to remind everyone, too, that we can take these all together, items number 4 through 8, or we can take them individually, or if there's any question concerning those items on the consent agenda. So, gentlemen, I'll turn it over to you on how you'd like to act on that.
I'd like to make a motion taking them all together.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so we'll take them all together. All in favor of taking them together? That good? Aye. Okay. Any opposed? All right. I'll need a motion then to either approve or deny these.
A motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Lester. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, MJ. So we have a motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the next item, gentlemen, is under new business, and that's to consider an ordinance for rezoning approximately 6.87 acres. Oh, that's right, this is yours, yes, I'm sorry. Since this is Councilman Cromer's project, he is recusing himself. Thank you, Lester. I was fixing to read that into the record. 6.87 acres on Tipton El Dorado Road from R8 and MR multi-residential to residential professional for use as an outreach community center as requested by Cromer Outreach Center LLC. And we've had the public hearings on those, so I'll open the floor up for consideration with that request.
I'd like to make the motion to approve this application.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I can second it.
A second?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion by Josh, a second by MJ. Is there any further discussion, any questions before we call for the vote?
Yes. I've been pretty consistent to change when I oppose changing zoning, and to go from residential to this residential professional doesn't sound like a big deal. Now, before we talked about it being general business, so maybe this is better than that. Well, it's better than that, but you know, this property is surrounded by houses, and I want to just tell you, because I don't know if everybody understands what can be done in residential professional. Single family residence, 2-family residence, multi-family residence, family care homes, 2 to 6 residents, catering service, cultural facility, daycare, essential services, fire, EMS, etc., a flower shop or florist, a golf course. Not that it's big enough for a golf course, but gunsmith, locksmith, medical clinic or office, messenger service office, personal services, barber, beauty, nails, day spa and similar services, recreation centers, public, religious facilities and related uses, it is currently a church, or had been a church, repair shop, light, watches, shoes, similar, restaurants without a drive-in, retail stores, specialty, gift, jewelry, antiques, schools, public. There are some conditional zoning that would require another vote by council, and you never know what can happen. But those items that would fit, if the council then approves them conditionally, is a funeral home, laboratory medical, printing, binding and similar services, studios, art, dance, music, photography, travel trailer or RV park. Now, I'm sorry, but if there was a church that we, in my neighborhood, and we wanted to rezone that to residential professionals, I would not want those next door to me. I didn't buy a house to be next to a day spa, and I don't think those other people. Now, Councilman Cromer has said he wants to have an outreach center. Wonderful. But to me, you have to think beyond that. What happens if he decides to sell the property? And anything can happen. And once it's rezoned and it gets sold, that's what you have here. I wouldn't want a restaurant next to me. I don't want any kind of repair shop next to me, whether it's watches or anything else. It doesn't fit in a neighborhood that's surrounded by houses. And these are well-kept houses. I've been down there several times just looking. And if we're going to protect our neighborhoods, like we discussed at our retreat, this is a time to stand up and protect our neighborhoods. And protecting a neighborhood is taking a tough vote and not rezoning something that doesn't fit with any houses around it. And I strongly urge you, don't do to this neighborhood what you wouldn't want done to your neighborhood.
I'm going to call for the vote, and then I want to say something after the vote or allow any, normally we don't do that, but y'all are okay with me making a comment after the vote, then I would appreciate that. All right, all of those in favor of approving this ordinance for the rezoning, please say aye.
Aye.
So we have 2 in favor. All those opposed? No. So we have 2 opposed. I'd like to share why I'm opposed, and maybe should have done that, but I didn't want to influence anyone else's vote, but I would like to share why I was opposed. When I first looked at this project, I was in favor of it because the thought of what Lester was proposing with regard to an outreach center for youth, I support that 110%. Where I changed my mind about supporting this was when we looked at the situation with the daycare going in on Old Osceola Road and what was going to happen there with a 60 or 70 child daycare center with employees, and that's a business, and those neighbors were extremely upset about that, and so that's why we put the moratorium in place so that we could analyze and do what's right for the neighborhood. And Jack, you're right. It doesn't matter where the neighborhood is. One of our goals was to support our neighborhoods and make our neighborhoods the best that they can be. So I've kind of flip-flopped around, sort of based on what day it is and what information I had at the time, but that really came home to me when we did the moratorium on the daycare. So that's why it's not, I'm like you, it's not that I don't support the efforts of a youth center and what that brings with it and helping the kids of this community, but it's just got to be in the right place. And so, so that's why I couldn't support the application. So what happens, Rob, in the case of a tie where you have a 2-2 vote? Does that mean it's not approved, or? Okay. Okay. All right. You want to invite Lester to come back in? Okay. All right. Rob, would you have a problem if we took items 10 and 11 together? That's the dispensary for the two drugstores, do we need to take them individual? 10 and 11. Okay, all right, are y'all good with that, gentlemen, to take them together? Okay. All right, so we have, that's the, considering a resolution to allow a waiver of the distance requirements for the location of a low THC pharmacy dispensary, one at South Georgia Drug Company doing business as Friendly City Pharmacy, located at 1202 Highway 41 North, and then also at the Allen Pharmacy Group doing business as Tipton Drug Company, located at 602 Love. So gentlemen, I'll open that up for your consideration.
I move we approve both of them.
Okay?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and 2 seconds to approve both of those. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, so that carries. Our next item is considering a resolution for amending the service agreement with Ryland Environmental for those commercial recycling services. Aaron is here this evening. Of course, he made a very thorough presentation. He's hiding behind you, Jack. He made a very thorough presentation at our workshop. If we have any questions, of course, we can bring him to the podium and ask those, but I'll open that up for your consideration on that resolution.
I move we approve amending the agreement.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Is there a second? All right, thank you, Josh. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So Aaron, there you go. We did remove item 13 on that LMIG project, so we'll come back to that next month. Now I'm going to ask Rob to make a presentation concerning the recommendation from the hearing officer on the alcoholic beverage violations we've had in Tipton.
Thank you, Mayor. As council may recall, we appointed Brent Hyde, an attorney here in town, to act as a hearing officer in the matter of El Matate Mexican Restaurant, Easy Mart Food and Gas, DNS Convenience, also doing business as a beverage shop, S&S Sales, LLC, Speed Go Number 1, Chapo's Tequila and Grill, and High Georgia Pines, also known as Terminal, doing business as Terminal South. Mayor and Council, at the hearings were conducted on December the 5th, and all of the licensees were present. At the time, I addressed the licensee in consultation with Emily with the idea that if they were to acknowledge that they in fact did violate the ordinance by providing alcohol to a person under the age of 21, that the city would agree to make a recommendation to the hearing officer, that the hearing officer recommend to city council a $1,000 fine in lieu of suspension or revocation. Some of this was generated by the understanding that one or some of these businesses, basically all they do is sell alcohol, and you suspend their license for 30 days, you very well put them out of business. Prior to having hearings, I met with the officers from the Department of Revenue, and all of these people also had their hearings before the Department of Revenue. The Department of Revenue put them on 12 months probation and fined them $1,000. So with all that, considered, it was the recommendation of the city to the hearing officer that the hearing officer recommend the city council to impose a $1,000 fine for all of these licensees. The hearing officer has in fact made that recommendation to city council to impose a $1,000 fine on all the licensees. As further understanding as to why we made this recommendation, there are guidelines in our code of ordinances as far as what happens if you violate the ordinance the first time within 12 months, or the second time within 12 months, or the third time within 12 months or 2 years. It's varying guidelines, and they're just guidelines to city council. If you violate the ordinance a second time within 12 months, that is a revocation, a guideline for a revocation of your alcohol license. And I informed the people that were present at the hearing that only they can control who they employ. We cannot, it's up to them to be sure that who they employ are going to be responsible and not violate the law. And that they need to understand that even though we were making this recommendation of a $1,000 fine, they get another violation within 12 months, we're coming for a revocation of your license. So we felt like the $1,000 fine was appropriate, with the understanding that we got a hammer if they come back and do it again. I've talked with the Department of Revenue subsequent to the hearing. I've talked with Chief Hyman. We're going to keep our eyes on these establishments and making sure that they do not violate the law again. And if they do, we will be coming before City Council and recommending a revocation. So with all that being said, what I would request City Council to do is accept the recommendation of the hearing officer and impose a $1,000 fine on each one of these entities for violating the ordinance.
How do you suggest I handle the motion? Is it the motion to accept the recommendation and then a second vote to impose the fine, or just?
I think that if you would just make a motion to accept the recommendation of the hearing officer as to all of the licensees, that would be sufficient.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any further discussion, any other questions, gentlemen?
I was gonna ask, are these the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? All right, did you have a question, Lester? Okay, you look like you say something. All right, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so the next step will be, I guess Jessica will reach out to them for the, okay.
I think what we've instructed them is after the council accepted the recommendation, they could come pay their fine. Of course, then they'll have to renew their license at the end of the month.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right, thank you, Rob. We're kind of coming to an end of our agenda, so our city manager report. Emily?
I just have a few things. One, Christmas will be here a little late this year, but this week we are tearing down the old playground equipment at the park. Everything will start shipping on Friday the 15th, and we will have a crew here on site starting with the new playground equipment on December 27th. So Christmas came a little late, but it's still here, so we're excited about all of the inclusive ADA playground equipment that's going to be out there. It's going to look great, and it's going to be a great addition to the park. The second thing, I wish Michael Mitchell with ESG, also a representative of our Tifton Tree Board, was here. A few weeks ago, he came before you to ask permission to apply for a grant for an on-staff part-time employee. We received word last week that the Georgia Forestry Commission selected us to be fully funded for this. So Trees Across America grant was awarded to the city of Tifton at $591,000 to help with our tree canopy in Tifton, which is outstanding. So congratulations to that board. And then the very last thing is if you were not able to attend the rained out version of Hometown Holidays this last Saturday, you missed a great time. There's a lot of elves behind the scenes that make this First Street turn into a magical experience, from the parade to the parade check-in to everything downtown. It was just great, and I thank all of our staff who assisted with that, our ESG personnel, as well as tourism and our OMG committee that puts it all together and sweats it the entire time. So we had a lot of tired elves afterwards, but it's so magical to see it come to life. So thank you for everybody who helped with that. And that's it.
All right, excellent. Good report. Gentlemen, comments?
I'll go. I've got one more meeting, so I'll reserve most comments till then. But as far as the playground, in the interest of safety, I would hope that maybe next year you can find some money to fence it in, because that's just helpful, especially for parents that have more than one child and trying to watch them. If there's a fence around it, there's less likely than they can get out. So I'm sure it just can't be that expensive, and I'm sure you can find some money somewhere.
Okay.
I'll reserve my other comments till next week.
Okay, all right. MJ, any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, I can go. I just want to say the Hometown Holidays was a great success, being that there's a date change on it, but just thankful for everybody that was behind the scenes making it happen. It was a great time. Seemed like there were some great people out, and they enjoyed themselves. Just want to let those people know that had those alcohol violations. I mean, that's a serious thing, you know. That's nothing to play with. Those are kids, you know, they have parents, they have families. Anything could happen, I mean, at any time. So if you're out there, you're listening, you're watching, whoever owns that establishment, definitely think about who you're hiring and train them well. I mean, don't let them skip anybody. You know, check all the IDs and do what's real. I mean, I'm gonna be a little stickler for these things here on out. I got a little kid now, and it's coming. So I mean, just be mindful of that.
Thank you, MJ. Gentlemen?
Myself personally, I'm very happy to announce the second annual Family Fun event in Puckett Park. It'll be held on Saturday, December 23rd at 4 p.m. There'll be a lot of music, food, free food prepared by the fire department and the police department. They'll be there also. So please bring gifts for children that are from infants to 10 years old. So that's again Saturday, December 23rd at 4 p.m. We will be having a community Christmas at Puckett Park. Thank you.
Sounds fun. Josh?
I just want to echo a little bit on what Emily said, just thanking all the else behind the scenes for making Hometown Holidays a great success. And I just want to say congratulations to all the firefighters that was promoted tonight and all the new ones that are joining the city of Tiffin. So
Excellent.
with that, that's the end of my comments.
Good. Can I put you on the spot? Can you give us just a very, very quick update on Commerce Way? I know I've seen a lot of work going on.
Yes.
Kind of where we are in the process.
Yes, so they have, actually I just had an email about it. They have poured or have starting to form up the sidewalks. All businesses are still open for business there. We are right on schedule of where we need to be. Through Commerce Way, they're still working on the sidewalks. We have not started on the road or anything yet. Moving right along, there's not a lot. I mean, it looks like there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, but there's not a lot of updates that I can give.
Okay.
But we are right on schedule with that. After Christmas, they will be moving into the alley as on schedule. We did not want to interrupt any businesses for deliveries or anything like that. But they are still working on the sidewalks and should have that going. I believe that ESG Engineering said that they should be wrapping that up within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
As far as the sidewalks and then starting to move out after that. But I do want to let everybody know those businesses are still open and there are bridges to get you from one side to the other. So don't think they're not open for business.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you for that. In closing, I'll wrap things up. A little birdie told me that today is somebody's birthday. And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish our city attorney, Mr. Rob Wilmot, a happy 94th birthday. He's not really 94. He just looks it now. I gotta get you a little bit, Rob. No, it is his birthday. I won't say what year. So we just all wish you a very happy birthday. So yeah, happy birthday, Rob. Happy birthday. All right. Is there any other business to come before the council? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.